above, you file a motion for the inhibition of the judge. That's a motion. And there is a resolution denying your motion. I-deny si motion mo. Can you appeal? Can you appeal? Yes or no? We have to remember that appeal is only available to final orders for judgment. Resolution on interlocutory orders. Do you know what interlocutory orders is? Interlocutory order, this is a resolution of the court which does not actually dispose the case. Resolution of pending incident. You know, pag sinabing pending incidents, usually pag file kang kaso, di ba? File kang kaso. So what will you do? You're against the judge, so you file a motion for inhibition. So i-resolve muna yan ng korte. Ang resolution kaya, ang tawag dyan, interlocutory order. Since it's not a final judgment, since it's not a final order, appeal is not a remedy. And if appeal is not a remedy, where will you go? Meron ka pong extraordinary remedy. Ano yon? File ka ng original action on what ground? Grave abuse of discretion. Okay? Grave abuse of discretion is a remedy when appeal is not available. Okay? Kung ang appeal po hindi available, grave, like for example also, saan? Sa criminal case, may double jeopardy, di ba? Acquittal, hindi pwede, di ba? So wala, appeal is not a remedy. Pero, can you go to the Supreme Court on special civil action on certiorari on grave abuse of discretion that the lower court has gravely abused discretion in rendering the judgment? Yes or no? Yes. But that is only in an extraordinary. So I repeat, appeal is not a constitutional right. It is only a remedy if the law allows it to be a remedy. So take note. So pag original, not exercising its real jurisdiction. Ano yun? Can be found in your book. Just read the specifics. What quo warranto is, what mandamus is, what habeas corpus is. Please read this. Anyway, in your rules of court in your second year, you'll be having this. Appellate jurisdiction. Review, revise, reverse, modify. Pero take note ha, i-encircle nyo, lower courts only. Take note. Final judgment and orders of lower courts. When we say lower courts, we are specifically referring to what? We are specifically referring to judicial courts. Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo doon, ito nakalagay dito, ano yan? All criminal cases in which the penalty imposed is reclusion perpetua or death. In the case of Rafi versus, narito yan, Chief of Staff, can be found in your book, right? Supposing the military commission imposed a penalty of death, would it be subject to automatic review by the Supreme Court? Yes or no? The answer is no, because military commission, military tribunal is not a judicial court. That is part of what? That is part of the executive department. So your only remedy is a clemency which may be provided by the President. Not actually clemency, as I've already mentioned to you, but the power of control on the part of the President. So take note. Check the case of Rafi. And I also would like to emphasize, class, that only the penalty of death that requires automatic review. Anong ibig kong sabihin ng automatic review? Even if the accused does not appeal, or does not interpose, or did not make known his appeal before the lower court, that the Supreme Court has the constitutional duty to review his case. Pero ang Supreme Court ka nagsabi kanto, in the case of People versus Mateo, na maski pa nagsabi dyan na it's subject to the automatic review by the Supreme Court, we still adhere to what? To the principle of hierarchy of courts. Ilagay muna sa Court of Appeal. Ano? Pag ang Court of Appeal nagsabing acquitted, it should immediately be executory. Pero if the Court of Appeal affirms the death penalty, it will not what? It will not render a judgment, but will forward the case to the Supreme Court. That's according to the case of what? People versus Mateo. But now, that's no longer applicable. Why? Because we no longer have death penalty. So, reclusion perpetua mo niyan. Gusto mo that is subject to automatic review by the Supreme Court? The penalty is reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment. Automatic review yan ng Supreme Court. Yes or no? Automatic review, yes or no? Answer, no. It's not subject to automatic review by the Supreme Court. If you want your case to be reviewed by the Supreme Court, you have to make it known. You have to file a notice of appeal before the court of origin or before the court trying the case. So, hindi po yan. Although it's within the what? It's within the review power of the Supreme Court. Okay. All cases involving legality of any tax, imposed assessment tolls, all cases in which jurisdiction of the lower court is an issue, in all cases, take note, the Supreme Court is only what? Will only take cognizance on matters involving what? Involving question of law. Take note. Involving question of law because it's not a trial of. Kaya kung titingnan natin doon sa kaso ni Randolph David versus GMA, ano nakalagay doon? There was a pronouncement, take note, there was a pronouncement that those operatives have what? Have violated certain set of procedures. Pero nag-impose ba ng damages ang korte? Hindi. Because the same should be properly ventilated before what? Before the trial court. The trial of facts. So, tigsabi lang na they should ventilate the matter before the trial court because the same is not within the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court for a simple reason that it's not a trial of facts. Take note. Okay? Read the case, Rafi versus Chief of Staff. It's very important. Temporary assignment of judges. Assign temporary judges of lower courts to other stations of public interest may require. Temporary assignment. Should not exceed 6 months. But can it be extended? Yes or no? Yes, for as long as there is consent from the one being designated or being assigned. Change of venue or place of trial. Change of venue or place of trial. If I am not mistaken, some cases of Ampatuan are already being tried before in Manila. Right? There is a change of what? There is a change of venue. Bakit class? Di ba sinabi ko na sa inyo, meron tayong tinatawag na criminal jurisdiction. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin ng criminal jurisdiction? Supposing the crime is committed in Calabanga, say for example, it's homicide, say for example, where will you file it? In RTC. But where? In Calabanga. Because it has territorial jurisdiction. Part yung tinatawag na criminal jurisdiction. Kaya nga, sinasabi natin, in criminal law, under the rules of criminal procedure, venue is also jurisdictional. Bakit jurisdictional? Ipapile mo lang yan doon sa korte kung saan nangyari yung krimen. Di ba? Yeah. That's why, except kung halimbawa, jeep, nagsuruntukan sa loob ng jeep, si conductor sa si driver, o pasahero sa conductor, where will you file it? Doon sa, halimbawa, Nagakalabanga, saan mo ipapile yan? Nagakalabanga. Pwede mong ipile yan sa Kalabanga, pwede mong ipile sa Magaraw, kung may korte man sa Magaraw, pwede mong ipile sa Naga. Okay? Yeah. From point of embarkation to point of arrival. Tama ba? Departure to arrival. Or any court na dinadaanan nung sasakyan. Yeah. So, i-file mo yan sa Kalabanga. Hindi mo yan pwedeng i-file sa Naga. Hindi mo yan pwedeng i-file sa Lipanag. That's criminal jurisdiction. It cannot be changed. Okay? So much so with the case. The case happened in Maguindanao. Is there a possibility that the same may be transferred or the same may be tried before RTC in Manila? Yes or no? As a general rule, cannot. Because that violates criminal jurisdiction. However, the Constitution allows what? The Supreme Court only, take note, to what? To allow change in venue, especially if there is a possibility that miscarriage of justice could result. Like for example, taga Maguindanao, it's very dangerous, especially in the part of the witnesses, di ba? Kaya pwedeng i-transfer sa Manila. Or in Palawan, di ba? Pagka-try sa Manila, because witnesses may be harassed, witnesses may already not be what? May no longer testify. So that will certainly affect the administration of justice. But I would like to emphasize, it's only the court and the court alone. Who is that court? The Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court alone can order changes in venue. Kaya, halimbawa, ma-file ka sa court, change in venue. Do you think it will be acted upon by the court, by the trial court? No. But instead, kung pipile mo yan sa trial court, anong gagawin? Ipo-forward yan sa court administrator. Ano? In the Supreme Court. And the court administrator will require the parties to give their respective comments. Because it's only the Supreme Court that can change venue. Let's proceed. You know, class, legislation is with Congress. We know that. Ano? Other branches of the government can do legislation, except can do legislation if there is a valid delegation of legislative powers. How about the Supreme Court and bank? Can it legislate? Yes or no? Yes. And it is a direct conferment by the Constitution. Can do and can promulgate what? The rules of court. Sa College of Law, we call it our remedial laws. Remedial laws. Yeah? Where can we find out? Ito yan. Promulgate rules concerning the protection and enforcement of constitutional rights, pleading, practice, and procedures in all courts. The admission to the practice of law, the integrated bar, and legal assistance to the underprivileged. Such rules shall provide a simplified, o take note. So sino po ang gumagawa niyan? It's the Supreme Court sitting en banc to promulgate rules of procedure. That's why ang pinakasikat na rules, yung rules of court. Rules of court. We have the civil procedure and we also have the criminal procedure. In your second year, you'll be having that is one of the hardest subjects in the College of Law, remedial law, specifically civil procedure. Mahirap po talaga ang civil procedure. Kahit ako nga, I was offered to teach civil procedure. I did that. I declined from teaching civil procedure. Komplikado po ang civil procedure. And I also admit when I took the bar examination, among my lowest subjects is civil procedure. Dahil kahit nga ngayon, talagang even lawyers already, I find it still complicated. Huh? Civil procedure meron na. So, and that is, I would like to emphasize, that's 20% of your bar examination, remedial law. So, ano-anoan po natin, makakuha tayo ng 60 sa remedial law, makakuha tayo ng 65 sa remedial law, mahirap-hirap ng gawin eh. Take note. Kahit hindi ka DQ, pero mga 65 na yan, mga 62, 63, mahirap na kung bawiin yan, considering 20% yan ang ating bar examination. So, give more emphasis on remedial law. I think in remedial law, we have a new professor in remedial law. He is also a PAW lawyer. Di Big Villafuerte o Pau Calabanga. Tingnan nyo kung hindi talaga si Big Villafuerte. Attorney Agualada. Attorney Jose Agualada. He is civil procedure. And that is also okay because I understand that he is also a graduate in Manila. No? So he is even implementing the practice in Manila, especially in class discussion. Ako kasi, ang practice ko high school eh, kaya very relaxed. And not good also, not good, not good, because you are no longer motivated to read. And that's not a good sign. So please. Yeah. Pero kayo teacher niyo, si Attorney Eve. Attorney Eve. Recitation. Yeah. Kaya magkakamali siya kaya doon niya. Galing din yan sa Paukalabang. Okay? Promulgate rules on procedure. Si Attorney Marvin, ready? Attorney Cortesano? Anong subject? Madami ng pau. Appointment of court personnel. Appoint all per officers and employees of judiciary in accordance with the civil service law. Except what? Except what? Except judges. Because sino nag-appoint? President. Pero lower in rank, personnel, it's the Supreme Court appointee. Ito. Section 6. The Supreme Court shall have administrative supervision over all courts and personnel thereof. And together with Section 6, Section 11 also says, the members of the Supreme Court and judges of lower court shall hold office during good behavior until they reach the age of 70. The Supreme Court and bank shall have the power to discipline judges of lower court and order their dismissal by a vote of majority. Dito galit na galit si Judge Gapot. We have the case of People versus Judge Gapot. Why? Because he was administratively fined. Okay? He was disciplined by the Supreme Court, but it was promulgated not by the Supreme Court and bank, but by a division of the Supreme Court. That is kaya constitutional violation. Bakit? Klaro ang sinasabi sa Section 11. Ano sinasabi dito? The Supreme Court and bank shall have the power to discipline judges of lower court. Not the division, but it's en bank. Pero, sinustain ba si Judge Gapot ng ating Korte Suprema? No. This provision of Section 11 is merely an affirmation that the Supreme Court has this authority to discipline judges of the lower court. But it does not also what? It does not also prohibit the Supreme Court from what? From delegating it to a division. Especially if the suspension does not exceed 1 year or if the fine does not exceed 40,000 pesos. Kaya nakalagay doon sa internal rules na pwedeng mag-take cognizance ng Supreme Court, ang Supreme Court and bank. Di ba isa yung sinabi ko? Ano yun? Di ba? Oh. Cases, and bank na yan. Cases where the penalty recommended or imposed is the dismissal of a judge, the disbarment of a lawyer, suspension of any of them for a period of more than 1 year, or fine exceeding 40,000 pesos. So if it is less than 1 year, if it is less than 40,000 pesos, the same may be imposed by a division, not necessarily by the en banc. So take note. So it's merely an affirmation that the Supreme Court can do this. However, if the penalty to be imposed is dismissal, it can only be done by the Supreme Court en banc. And if the penalty imposable is dismissal, it is in the nature of an administrative complaint where the required penalty usually or the required quantum of proof usually is only substantial evidence, di ba? But that is different as regards members of the judiciary. Even if it is an administrative case, the quantum of proof required is a proof beyond reasonable doubt. Take note. That's according to the case of what? Office of the Court Administrator versus Pascual, July 29, 1996. Removal of judicial officers should be established beyond reasonable doubt. If charges are misconduct, willful neglect, corruption, and incompetence, take note. Proof beyond reasonable doubt. Now, we cannot deny the fact that judges are also public officers, diba? The question now is, are they within the jurisdiction of the Office of the Ombudsman? Can you file a case against them before the Office of the Ombudsman, at least an administrative case? Yes or no? The answer is what? The answer is no. Why? Sabi dito, shall have administrative supervision over all courts and personnel thereof. That's according to the case of what also? Fuentes versus Office of the Ombudsman for Mindanao. October 23, 2001, what does it say? Ombudsman may not initiate or investigate criminal or administrative before any officer of the court or before a judge. Take note. What the Office of the Ombudsman should do if it receives complaint as against a judge, anong gagawin niya? I-endorse niya sa Supreme Court. Because it's the Supreme Court that has the administrative supervision over all members of the judiciary. That's according to the case of what? Fuentes versus Office of the Ombudsman, October 23, 2001. Take note. Ayos. Next. No decision shall be rendered by any court without expressing therein clearly and distinctly the facts and the law on which it is based. This is prohibition against sin perjuicio judgment. What is a sin perjuicio judgment? Kakala na perjuicio pa, no? Sin perjuicio judgment. What is that? We call that judgment by installment. Sentencing muna ngayon, ano? Promulgation muna ngayon ng penalidad. Later on ang discussion, we'll just furnish the party with the discussion. That is no longer allowed. Why? Part of due process, take note, part of constitutional due process, that every decision should express clearly and distinctly the law on which it is, the facts and the law on which it is based. Take note. Kaya hindi po pwedeng isang page lang yung decision. No? Okay? The court finds the accused guilty beyond reasonable doubt and impose a penalty of 6 months imprisonment. So ordered. Ako lang na so order. So ordered. That's not. Ang importante po dyan, ano? Ang importante is the decision, ang kaso. Now, kailangan bang ilagay ang lahat ng na-elicit during the trial? Evidence for the prosecution, mga testimonies. Evidence for the defense, mga testimonies. Everything. Kailangan ba? Yes or no? Or, is he allowed to make a selective narration of facts in the decision? Yes or no? Answer, yes. Meron po siyang discretion para i-determine na kung aling facts ang material to the case, aling facts ang irrelevant. Okay? Yeah. So, pwede po yung gawin ng husgado. Now, suppose nakalagay lang dyan, you are better the penalty of 6 months minimum, etc. Pero wala nakalagay na accessory penalty. Hindi nakalagay yung accessory penalty. Pwede bang i-impose din yung accessory penalty? Yes or no? Answer, yes. Why? Because the imposition of the principal penalty carries with it the imposition of accessory penalty, even if the same is not provided in the judgment. Yeah? Even if the same is not provided in the judgment. It need not also be what? A complete recital of evidence presented. Take note. Yeah? Now, is it applicable sa resolution ng fiscal in the conduct of his preliminary investigation? Na kailangan ba i-cite niya distinctly and clearly yung facts kung saan binasihan ng kanyang finding of probable cause? Yes or no? Answer, no. Why? That is according to the case of what? Do I have the case? That's according to the case of Bundok versus Tan. October 6, 2010. Bundok versus Tan, October 6, 2010. What does it say? Oh, take note. I'll read. A preliminary investigation is not a quasi-judicial proceeding. Take note. It's not a quasi-judicial proceeding since the prosecutor in a preliminary investigation does not determine the guilt or innocence of the accused. And therefore, the latter's findings are not covered by Article 8, Section 14 of the Constitution, requiring decisions to state clearly and distinctly its factual and legal basis. Take note. Yeah. The court added that neither is the action of the Justice Secretary in reviewing the findings of prosecutors covered by said constitutional requirements. Because, halimbawa, class, pig-file mo sa piskalya ang kaso, na-dismiss, possible? Nag-file kang kaso sa piskalya against somebody na dismiss? Yes or no? Possible. Because walang probable cause, sabi ng piskalya. Can you refile it again? Can you refile it again? Na-dismiss sa piskalya. Can you refile it again? Yes or no? Who says yes? Raise your hand. O, tubod ka ba pulis yan? Can you refile it again? Yes or no? Of course, yes. Because that is without prejudice. Double jeopardy will not attach. Because the requirements sa double jeopardy is what? That, ano? Ano? That you are already arraigned. Ano? That the decision was made by a competent court. Diba? So, hindi pa naman po siya na-arraign. Hindi naman siya nadidetermine ng competent court. So, wala pong double jeopardy saan? Sa piskalya. Yeah? Can you refile it? Yes or no? Yes. Ano? Yes. O halimbawa na-dismiss, ako ko mag-refile. Gusto ko mag-apila. Can I file an appeal? Saan ako mag-a-apila? Decision of the fiscal. Where will I file my appeal? Saan? Regional State Prosecutor? Let's check the rules. If the penalty imposable is not exceeding 6 years, appeal should be before the Regional State Prosecutor. But if the imposable penalty for the crime is more than 6 years, it should be directly to the Secretary of Justice. No. Yan, no? That is the appeal. However, kahit may apila ka, kahit may motion for reconsideration ka, kung may determination of probable cause, it does not also prohibit the fiscal from filing the case already. Kahit may apila ka pa. No? So kahit may apila, hindi mo po dapat i-file. Sabihan mo ang piskalya, huwag mo na i-file, may MR pa ako. May apila pa ako. Can you stop the fiscal from doing that? No. The fiscal could file it in court already. Ang remedy mo lang is to what? Ang remedy mo is to have it, what? To move for its holding in abeyance and pending determination of the case. So take note of this case. GR number 186652, Bondok versus Tan, October 6, 2010. Take note. So hindi po siya covered ng Section 14. How about administrative resolutions? Covered ba siya? Mga administrative resolutions, covered ba siya? No, it's not covered. It's not covered. Does not apply to administrative cases. Take note. That's according to the case of Prudential Bank versus Castro. Ano? It does not apply to administrative cases. 58S Class 646. Okay? Salaries of judges. Reading matter na to. Salary of a Chief Justice, right? During their continuance, the salary shall not be decreased or shall not be decreased. Kaya pala silang petition. Binabawasan kami ng buwis. Ano? Binabawasan kami ng buwis. That is a decrease to our salary. And that is a constitutional violation. Okay din na, no? Di ba? Sabi dito, no decrease. Kaya it was certainly the case of Nitapan versus Commissioner of Internal Revenue. The Supreme Court said that salaries of judges, like those other government functionaries, should also be subject to income tax. Ano? So take note. Periods of decision. 15. All matters or cases filed after the effectiveness shall be decided when? 24 hours? Say man. 24 months. 24 months. Ano? Before the Supreme Court. 12 months before the lower court, and 3 months before other lower courts. So take note, sa Supreme Courts po, 24 months, 2 years. Okay? Sa collegiate courts, 12 months, 1 year. Sa other courts, 3 months. Pero where is the reckoning period from the time the case is submitted for decision? That is the period given to the judge within which to decide. 90-day period. And kailan po submitted ang kaso for decision? Upon the filing, ano sa nalito? Upon the filing of the last pleading, brief or memorandum required by the rules of court or by the court. Now, ang problema, class, more than 3 months na dahil pa nadidesisyonan ng korte ang kaso. 6 months na dahil pa nadidesisyonan. 1 year na dahil pa nadidesisyonan. Does it affect the jurisdiction of the court to decide a case? Yeah. Does it affect the jurisdiction of the court to decide a case? Yes or no? Answer, no. Still, the court has to decide it. But it exposes himself to administrative sanction. Right? It exposes himself to administrative sanction. Yeah? So, hindi naman maghahali ang kaso. Hindi naman maghahali ang kaso. Ano nga yan, sir, na nagsasampulong taon? Nagsasampulong taon sa trial court level. Pero yung decisioning, sentencing, may period lang. So, nahaloy saan? Sa presentation of evidence, sa trial process. Because hindi, ang pigre-refer to this the what? The period within which the court could decide a case, could render decision. Hindi dito kasali yung proceedings before the case is submitted for decision. You get the point? Tapos na tayo. Constitutional Commission. Board na ba kayo? Dapat hindi kayo ma-board because when you're ready, you review. Maghapon yan, banggi pa yan hanggang alas 8. Constitutional Commissions. What are these Constitutional Commissions? Civil Service Commission, the COMELEC, and the COA. They are constitutionally created. They are independent commissions. They can only be removed by what? They can only be removed by impeachment. And they have a term for how many years? 7 years. Can they be reappointed or appointed in an acting capacity? Yes or no? Cannot. Salaries? High. Yung mga salaries of chairman and commissioners are relatively high, and may not be decreased during their continuance, may promulgate rules of procedure. Disqualification. No members, ito na, constitutional provisions na muna tayo because by next time, cases na lang. No members of the Constitutional Commission shall during their tenure hold any other office, practice of any profession. Okay? So same disqualification as that of national office. What is this case of Brillantes versus Yora? Ano itong Brillantes versus Yora? Appointment of an acting chairman of the COMELEC made by the President until the permanent chairman is appointed. Would it be okay? Yes or no? Can the President appoint a temporary or acting chairman for the COMELEC? What do you think? Yes or no? Would that not be violative of the provision that they should be designated in an acting capacity? Diba? Constitutional provision yun. That they should be designated in an acting capacity. Supposing the President made an acting president, acting chairman of the Commission on Elections, would that not be a violation? Yes or no? Yes or no? Anong sinasabi dito? The lack of a statutory rule covering the situation of power is no justification for the President of the Philippines to fill the void by extending temporary designation. Take note. So the President cannot do that. That's an independent body. So how would the problem be resolved? Sabi sa kaso ni Brillantes versus Yora, the situation could have been handled by the members of the Commission on Elections themselves without the participation of the President. You underscore that. These are important rulings. Take note. Case of what? Brillantes versus Yora. Each commission shall decide by a majority vote of all its members. Take note that the quorum of all its members. What is required is all members, not only those who participated in the deliberation. That's according to the case of Estrella versus Comelec, May 27, 2004. Decision of the Comelec may be brought where? Ang sabi sa Supreme, sabi sa Section 7 saan? Supreme Court on certiorari. Pero take a look also at the Rule 45. Sa Comelec and COA, take note, where will you bring it? Within 30 days to the Supreme Court. Decision of Comelec and COA, you may bring it to the Supreme Court within the period of 30 days on special civil action on certiorari. Ano gusto sabihin ko yan? Grave abuse of discretion, not appeal. No? Pero, as regards decision of the Civil Service Commission, pwede bang i-appeal yan? Yes, we have Rule 45. Anong sabi dito? You have to appeal it within 15 days. Later. Saan? Court of Appeal, hindi po sa Supreme Court. Can the Civil Service Commission have the authority to recall appointments initially approved? Yes or no? Of course, yes. That's the job even of the Civil Service Commission. To recall appointments initially approved in disregard of applicable provisions of the Civil Service Law and Regulations. That's according to the case of what? Matay versus Civil Service Commission, August 9, 1999. I also would like to read Republic Act number 6850. What is RA 6850? That is the law that grants what? Civil service eligibility to employees under provisional or temporary status who have rendered 7 years of efficient service. But I would like to emphasize, you cannot impose upon Civil Service Commission to do that. That is still discretionary on the part of Civil Service Commission. That's according to the case of Torrigosa versus Civil Service Commission, 211 extra 280. Can the Civil Service Commission decide complaint on cheating in civil service examination? Of course, yes. Can the Civil Service Commission file a case? Siya nga, file ako. Tapos ako pa matry. Pwede yan. O ano? It's the Civil Service Commission that will file a complaint, and still it's the Civil Service Commission that will hear and try the case. Can that be done? Sabi sa kaso ni Cruz versus Civil Service Commission, November 22, 2011. The Civil Service Commission or real jurisdiction to hear and decide a complaint for cheating in the civil service examination committed by government employees. Pwede. The fact that it filed the complaint does not mean it cannot be impartial. O, pwede siyang mag-file and pwede siyang mag-try. The fact that it cannot be, the fact that it filed the complaint does not mean it cannot be impartial. Take note of the case, Cruz versus Civil Service Commission, November 22, 2011. Also this case, please read, Alberto versus Patog, PAT-OG. Alberto versus Patog. I know Alberto. Alberto Patog versus Civil Service Commission. Alberto Patog versus Civil Service Commission, GR number 178755. June 5, 2013. June 5, 2013. Please read that case. Also, the case of Republic versus Pacheco. Republic versus Pacheco, GR number 178021, January 25, 2012. Also, the case of Civil Service Commission versus CA, GR number 185766, November 23, 2010. Also, the case of Plato. Slang ang plato na Plato. Plato, P-L-E-Y-T-O, Plato versus PIDG. GR number 169982, November 23, 2007. Plato versus PIDG, GR 169982, November 20, 2007. Also, the case of what? The case of Montueto. Montueto versus P. Montueto versus P, GR number 17736, October 8, 2008. October 8, 2008. Montueto versus P. Ibigay ko na lang yung mga kaso, and we will go na. We will just be discussing this in our regular session. You read a case. You read jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan. What are the cases? So we have, you read the Sandigan Bayan Act, PD 1606, Check also RA 8495, 8249. That has something to do with the ethical standards for public officers. RA number 3019, what's that? Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Also RA 1379, forfeiture of illegally acquired wealth. So please read. Also, who are those officers? Officers who may be subject to the jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan. Not only that. There are plenty. And you also read Article 16 of the Constitution on general provision, especially on appointment. That might be included in the exam, just do not know. Especially among members of the military. Okay? Yes. Also, the case of Francisco versus Divinesia. This is an important case. It's also a landmark case. It's something to do with impeachment proceedings. November 10, 2003. Also, Ganadin versus CA, June 1, 2011. June 1, 2011. Civil Service Commission versus CA. CSC versus CA. Iguana. Ito pa. Versosa versus Carage. Versosa versus Carage, GR number 157838. Hindi ko lang nakuha yung date. Versosa versus Carage, this has something to do with COA, GR 157838. Also, important case. Everybody should read this. Mike Arroyo versus DOJ Comelec. Mike Arroyo versus DOJ-Comelec. GR 199082, July 23, 2013. This has something to do with the electoral sabotage finance against the president. Okay? Sige. Magno versus People. April 6, 2011. That's the last case. Magno versus People, April 2011. Where is the attendance sheet? Uwi na tayo? If you have your attendance there, you can go.